Hello friends, I am greetings for the day. Welcome back to another tutorial on ISTQB Advanced Level Test Analyst Certification. We are in Chapter 3 talking about test analysis and design, where we shall be looking forward to cover the next topic, that is 3.3 Rule-Based Test Techniques. And as a part of this tutorial, we are covering the next technique, which is decision table testing. And as a part of this particular technique, we would like to understand how at advanced level decision table testing can be applied and what it takes to understand the subtypes of it. As a part of our foundation level syllabus, we have already discussed about decision table testing, and we have understood more about what exactly it takes to apply decision table testing, which is more about trying out the different combinations of various conditions provided to you and look forward to come up with minimum number test cases. So here is a quick example to understand and relate back to what we have covered in foundation level. So as a part of that foundation level, it is more of like a black box test technique, and certainly being covered from the point of when we have multiple conditions involved in order to derive the possible number of combinations. But as you know, there could be any number of combinations possible. We land up creating minimum number of combination, which brings the required value by having the minimum set of combinations being created. Now, as a part of this, we are introducing you to the advanced level concept, which is what is collapsed decision table and non-collapsed decision table. So in simple and very easy concept, that collapsed table is the further minimization of the large tables. However, non-collapsed table is the full table. So let's make it very simple. Say, for example, you have three conditions in a particular scenario, then you know that 2 raised to 3 is the number of combination or minimum number of test cases what you would need as per decision table testing. But on the other hand, if you talk about further reducing it, then we reduce the number of test cases by calling it as collapsed table, right? So there are certain criteria to be followed when we talk about the collapsed decision table. Whereas when we talk about more number of conditions, like 2 raised to 4, 2 raised to 5, where you can have 16 test cases or 32 test cases, it becomes quite large to practice that as well. And that's where collapse table is very useful to further reduce it in the definitive number of test cases. But there are certain criteria. Criteria number 1 to do the collapse table is each condition should be tested for its truthness, and second, each different output should also be covered where you are collapsing a table. So let's take a quick sample example to understand further better. So taking a quick example here, where this is a pseudo example, a company pays bonus to their salespersons only if they fulfill the criteria below. And the criteria is very simple. A salesperson has completed 1 year in the company and agreed to the given target and achieved it as well. Where you talk about a simple data being prepared because there are three conditions. That is 1 year in the company, then agreed to the target, and of course, achieved it as well. So now if you see there are three conditions, so 2 raised to 3, there are possible number of test cases, which are 8. Now non-collapse table is very simple. All possible combination, that is 2 raised to 3. So 8 test cases would be a part of it, right? But when it comes to collapse table, as we said, there are two major criteria to be fulfilled. Number one, that test must cover each condition for its truthness. That is, certainly if you talk about test 1, you can say that test 1 covers all three criteria for truthness, so one test case is enough. Answer is no, because the second criteria is the test must also cover the unique outputs. Now, if you see, the bonus in this case is paid only if you meet all the three criteria. That is 1 year of experience, agreed target, and achieved target. But in all other cases, you will not be paid bonuses. And that is where it becomes very simple and clear that there are two different outputs from this table, that is yes and no. However, if I take just test case 1, that is the first one, then it does not cover both the outputs. So now I need to take any one test cases from the remaining 7 test cases to cover the other output as well. That means the minimum number of test cases would be 2. Now the question is, which second test case should I consider? That's completely up to you. Okay, because depending on the scenario, you can choose any other test case which has more relevancy and condition fulfillment, but any of the 7 test cases would be realistic enough to consider. But sometimes you do have scenarios where you may not blindly consider something. For example, look at test case number 6, where the person has not completed any experience, agreed target is also not fulfilled, but claims that you have achieved the target. Okay, which is more of like you did not participate in a competition, did not enroll for it, but you claim that you won it. So sometimes some combinations become very unrealistic, and that's where we do not take those test cases out as our consideration. So when it comes to real world, you need to make sure that you take these things into account. But for the examination, they will not give you test case ID. Okay, you will only get the information about the conditions. You need to draw the table out and define the number of test cases. So you don't have to worry which test case to select. It's just the count. Okay, so either you go with 2 test cases, 3 test cases, 4 test cases, but not like T3, T4, T5, T6, because they have not seen your table. The table is completely a rough work, which you'll be doing off screen. Okay, so in this case, as you can see, for non-collapse table, you would have 8 test cases, which is the full table. But for collapse table, just follow the simple rule, and it totally depends on the scenario. If your scenario includes multiple conditions and different outputs, then make sure you choose the number of test cases based on that. For example, if in case you have a scenario where, of course, by default, the first test case will cover all the conditions for its truthness. But what if there are 4 different outputs, right? Then the minimum number of test cases will be 4, because the unique outputs also should be covered. So make sure that you follow this protocol in order to reduce the size of the table. But realistic, unrealistic is only from the real point of view in the real world. But for the examination, we just need to get the count of test cases. And I hope that makes it very simple and easy for everyone to understand. You will be getting some sample examples later to understand this, and you can simply try it out. The more important thing here is, did you understand the fundamental? When your fundamentals are clear, you can apply it in any scenario. So that's all from this particular tutorial, team. Should you have anything else, feel free to comment below. I'm always there to address your queries and answer them well. Till then, keep learning, keep exploring, keep understanding the context. Thanks for watching the video, team, and happy learning.